You're not broken for craving quiet in a world that profits from your noise. You're not strange for feeling tired of the race you never agreed to run. And here's the question that gently waits in the background of your life. What if protecting your peace is not selfish, but sacred? Most people are taught that peace comes after success, after validation, after proving something to everyone else. But what no one tells you is that peace is often what you must choose before any of that makes sense. You learn this the hard way, in the middle of achievements that still leave your chest hollow, in rooms full of people where you still feel alone, in relationships that look perfect from the outside but quietly drain you on the inside. This is the moment the universe often whispers instead of shouts. This is the moment where awakening doesn't feel like light. It feels like discomfort. This is not confusion. This is awareness. History quietly reflects this truth. When Siddhartha left the palace, he wasn't running from luxury. He was listening to an ache that comfort could not soothe. When Rosa Parks stayed seated, it was not an argument. It was an act of inner alignment that reshaped the outer world. When Nikola Tesla chose solitude over society, he was protecting the fragile silence where his visions lived. Peace has always looked strange to a noisy world. This is not withdrawal. This is realignment. And in your own life, it shows up in smaller, quieter ways. It's the moment you stop explaining yourself to people who only listen to reply. It's the night you choose rest over proving. It's the boundary you finally draw, even though your hands shake as you draw it. At first, protecting your peace feels like loss. You lose approval. You lose access. You lose certain versions of people. But slowly, something deeper returns. Your breath, your center, your sense of self. You were never meant to be everything to everyone. You were meant to be true to yourself. But here's what no one prepares you for. Once you protect your peace, your future begins to shift. Not dramatically at first, quietly. You start making different decisions. You stop chasing what only looks good. You stop staying where your spirit slowly shrinks. Opportunities begin to rearrange around your new frequency. Some doors close without explanation, others open without effort. And you realize the universe has been waiting for you to choose yourself before it could choose new paths for you. This is not coincidence. This is coherence. Still, the mind resists. It whispers old programs. Be productive, be impressive, be needed. But the soul speaks in a calmer language. Be present, be honest, be whole. One voice shouts, the other waits. Awakening is not about adding more to your life. It is about subtracting what was never aligned to begin with. The unnecessary obligations, the performative relationships, the identities you wore to survive a season that has already passed. You don't abandon who you were. You simply outgrow the costume. And this is where your future is quietly shaped, not by what you force, but by what you finally stop carrying. When you choose peace, you choose clarity. When you choose clarity, your choices become cleaner. Your yes becomes intentional. Your no becomes sacred. Your energy stops leaking into places that cannot honor it. Over time, your life begins to feel less like a battlefield and more like a garden, tended, protected, and alive. This is not escape. This is design. And as one lesson settles into your bones, another begins to rise. There is a strange illusion in the modern world that says constant connection means you are alive, that if you are seen, you matter more. If you are busy, you are successful. If you are always reachable, you are loved. But the deeper truth is quieter and far less glamorous. It is often in solitude that your real self finally gets a chance to speak. Not loneliness, but chosen silence, the kind that feels empty at first, and then strangely full. Silence is not absence. Silence is an entrance. Think of the great figures who changed the world, not through noise, but through depth. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet his greatest wisdom was written alone, in private, never meant for applause. Jesus fasted in the desert before he ever spoke to crowds. Even in your own life, Your most honest realizations likely didn't arrive in crowds. They came in quiet moments, late at night, during long walks, after endings that left you staring at the ceiling, asking better questions. Truth rarely arrives with an audience, yet modern life trains you to perform even your healing, to post your growth, to showcase your struggles, to turn every private breakthrough into content. But the universe works in reverse. It reshapes you off stage. It rewrites you where no one is watching. And often, the reason you feel restless is not because you lack more stimulation. It's because your soul is starving for stillness. You don't need more input. You need more integration. This is where the illusion of distraction quietly dissolves. The endless scrolling, the constant comparisons, the subtle pressure to keep up with lives that are carefully edited. Distraction numbs, but it never fulfills. It keeps you busy, but it keeps you shallow. Awakening doesn't make your life louder. It makes it deeper. You begin to value what cannot be posted. The long conversations, the moments of doing nothing, the feeling of being fully inside your own skin. Depth is the new rebellion, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, your nervous system begins to heal. You stop jumping at every notification. You stop needing constant reassurance. You become less reactive and more responsive. Problems don't disappear, but your relationship to them changes. You no longer meet chaos with more chaos. You meet it with steadiness. This is the quiet strength no one celebrates, but everyone eventually needs. Calm is not weakness. Calm is mastery. Your future is shaped in these microscopic choices. The choice to log out instead of lash out. The choice to breathe instead of explode. The choice to retreat instead of prove. These moments don't look heroic. They rarely earn applause, but they build a nervous system that can hold more truth, more love, and more responsibility without breaking. This is not passivity. This is power with a pulse. And as the noise thins and your inner world grows clearer, a deeper lesson begins to surface. One about identity, illusion, and the quiet courage it takes to live without masks. This is what it means to let your future be shaped by peace instead of fear. Not a perfect life, a grounded one. Not constant happiness, honest stability. Not external control, internal anchoring. You don't become untouchable. You become unshakable in quieter ways. And in that quiet strength, your life begins to feel less like survival and more like a slow, deliberate return to yourself. You are not disappearing from the world. You are returning home within it.